Kaufman is a live YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at an old comic book, Youngblood #1 by Image Comics. This was the very first Image Comics that launched the entire label. This came out in April of 1992. It's written and plotted and inked by Rob Liefeld. It's got 2 covers and 2 stories. So very interesting way of doing comic books. Stuff like this really hadn't been done too much up to this point in mainstream comics. And, you know, we get Rob Liefeld jumping off of X-Force, coming to Youngblood, starting his own brand, his own team. It is a bit derivative of Youngblood of X-Force in a sense, you might say, but I think it's kind of its own thing. It's very much of its time, of like the 80s, early 90s, kind of like G.I. Joe, Mask, those type of things, Transformers even. But it's got, you know, a superhero slant to it. And you got to really love Liefeld's earliest work too. I think it's really holds up a lot better than some of his more recent work, really. There's just something about some of his inking. And we'll go through it here. Go through this whole first issue. We've got Shaft, Chapel, who became a pretty prominent Spawn character, Voodoo, there's Badrock, or Bedrock as he's called at this point, before Liefeld got sued by Hanna-Barbera because of the Flintstones. He couldn't call his character Bedrock. Then we've got Die Hard, which he somehow did not get sued for using. I guess because it's a comic book character, perhaps, that doesn't really have anything to do with the movie Die Hard, and maybe the fact that Badrock is made of bedrock. It's a little too close. I don't know. I have no idea legally, or maybe just the producers of Die Hard didn't care. But and then we've got this character Combat, who actually isn't on this team in the first issue. He's on the away team, as it's called. So there's a home team and an away team, which I think Liefeld will take credit for doing. X-Men started doing it too, and with like kind of the gold and blue team in a sense. But we'll see how this all unfolds here. We'll start with the home team, and this is a Malibu comic printed. Image was using Malibu colors in their prints to make all of, and their publishing to make all of these comic books printed. So we meet Shaft here. He's got no eyeballs. Something Liefeld always is very inconsistent with drawing eyeballs. Then we get really big eyeballs here from this girl. The girlfriend of Shaft here. This issue also comes with a card too. It's kind of, I guess if you cut it out, it would be in the size of a card. Kind of a cool thing. I think Liefeld was really into cards back in the early 90s. You know, Todd McFarlane was really into like printing baseball cards for a while when he wasn't doing comics. And I love collecting comic book cards. I think they're really cool. So we get Shaft here. He's just being accosted by these people who are stealing a purse. So Shaft's trying to stop him, but he gets stopped by this sniper. But Sniper just like Shaft just throws a pen at the sniper and knocks him off the railing here. I always felt like Shaft was kind of a Liefeld self-insert. He kind of looks like what I think Rob Liefeld would draw himself as if he was a superhero. So we meet Bedrock here. He's actually just a child, even though he's so big. He's talking to his mom here. He's saying, I haven't had a lunch like this since I left, Mom. You didn't have to do this for me. But he's got to go back to the team here. She says, sure, honey, drink your milk. She's so proud of her son. Then we meet Die Hard. And we meet Chapel here, who's in bed with this babe, but he says duty calls. And we see his big gun here as he puts himself in uniform, and he's got the girl kind of suggestively posed here for sure. We meet the whole team here. Pretty nice looking page here of the whole team getting together. There's Photon, who's another member of Youngblood here. He's, I guess, kind of on the computers here. They've got their, like, assistant. And they've got reports of this team, the Four, who are kind of like Mutant Liberation Front in a lot of ways, but they get the call to go and attack them, stop them, whatever they're doing. So we get a battle between the good guys and the bad guys here in the first issue. We meet the team real quick and get a cool battle here. We get some very heavy manga influence, like speed lines and that face too. Really cool looking shot there of Die Hard just punching that guy. Reminds me like of kind of Eric Larson style as well. And we get the big double splash of the team. The colors in this book, like I said, are done by Malibu Colors, and I don't think of everything in this book, I'd say the colors probably hold up the least. So then we're on to the second story here, which you actually got to go back to the back page and start over. And we get a little ad for the Rob Liefeld fan club as well. Just $3.50 plus $1 for postage and shipping and handling. So we get the first issue. I really like this cover. I think these are both really strong covers for sure. This is one of the best Liefeld drawings I think he's ever done, honestly. Except obviously the Liefeld trope, no feet there. None of them have a feet. He just draws like a giant circle to cover them up, which is pretty funny. And kind of here too, he draws a couple little feet here, but a lot of these characters are like hidden behind something, so you can't see their feet or they're flying at you. But we got, let me see if I can even remember all these guys' names. We got Sentinel here. He's the main guy. There's Photon. This is Brahma, I think. That's Cougar. Sci-Fire and Riptide. I think I got them all. We got a Shaft card here. Real name Jeff Terrell. With his extensive experience as an FBI agent, Shaft with the logical choice to replace Battlestone as home team leader of Youngblood. So there you go. You get a little bit of information of stuff we haven't even seen about. This team's already got, like, you know, built-in history that we haven't seen, which is cool. I mean, that's one thing I will give, you know, Liefeld some credit for, is he's got this whole built-in universe already, it feels like, in his head. And we're just getting like little glimpses of it here and there. So get the team jumping out of a plane. Pretty classic shot. Pretty awesome drawing, really. Got all these little like foot soldiers behind him too. Really like Jim Lee influence for sure. Even in this, like, this guy's little face down here reminds me a lot of a Jim Lee face. This little guy right there. So we got, let's see, Combat and Cougar. I love this shot of Cougar. It's pretty awesome. With Combat behind him. Again, the speed lines to kind of just accentuate the movement here. Some pretty awesome faces. There's some really weird, like, inconsistencies though when we're looking at some of the gear that Combat's wearing from page to page. I've noticed, like, we've got these shoulder pads here. One's kind of got these ridges on them and the other one's just smooth. And he doesn't even have them on this panel here. And then he does on the next panel on the very right below it. And then on the next panel they both have like the ridges on it. So I don't even, know what's going on here. They're on this mission as the away team. They're trying to stop this like Saddam Hussein like character in Iraq. I like the colors on this panel though, and I love all the like little ink blots in the background to show the power like on the fist here too, from these like faceless hordes robots. So again, we get this is combat without his helmet on. And see, now he's missing a shoulder pad completely on this panel. And it's like reversed, and this one's got the ridges on it. But he gets his helmet back nonetheless, his ever-changing costume. And his cyborg arms change too. Like, he's got a cyborg arm there, but then he doesn't here. So you get that a lot with some Liefeld drawings, little inconsistencies, but it's not really about that with him. It's just all about the energy. And he's not failing at all in that department in this first issue, in my opinion. So some kind of wonky colors here, but they kind of work. We got this sci-fi guy. I like the green psychic power that he's got. He just kind of rips his mind apart. This Saddam Hussein type character. I think his name's like Saddam Hassan or something. So some cool pages here. I like this drawing of Sentinel. These ones are kind of fun. These two look exactly the same, just from panel to panel, and this guy's look exactly the same. He just kind of switches out who's standing next to him there. Really weird. And we get a US Today newspaper talking about Hussein Hassan's terror ends in suicide. So that's how they cover it up. But I've got this redone version of Youngblood, this hardcover book that came out. It's rewritten by Joe Casey, and so he's redoing all of Liefeld's scripting here on this book, and they've redone a lot of the colors, and they've actually redone all of the lettering. We got Russ Wooten doing the letters here, so you can see the lettering looks a lot better. The colors pop a lot better. It's on better paper too. And they actually tell the story in a much more interesting way in this book that makes it actually make a little bit more sense, so you're not just kind of getting two separate stories. Because when we start issue 2 of Youngblood, we actually get this whole new team and all these new characters, the Berserkers here. And the way that Joe Casey sets it up, we actually get that as a prologue to the first issue, which kind of sets up everything, which works really well, I feel like. And we get this extra page of a US Today like we got in at the end of the first issue, which we don't get at all here in the original. So we get like a similar thing, but they've actually like written a whole new article. We've got like an introduction of Shaft here after the prologue. And even a little like Easter egg of Battlestone and Brigade here, so. And then we go right into the first issue of Youngblood. So it starts off like with an actual like battle, like you might see in like a show or a movie, and we're introduced to the main villain as well. And then now we get our main character here and the team. The writing's a lot better too, much wittier, and just a lot more thought out and put together as far as the writing goes here. All throughout this. Again, I think the colors look a lot better too, because we're not getting the Malibu colors as well. Like here, there's even more scripting here as we get like Chapel in bed with this woman, and she's in front of him again, and there's much better colors. And he's actually like saying something to her here. He's like, "This is what you want. Does this turn you on?" And she's like, "How come you didn't wear all that before? That's what I wanted." Here, let's see if I can find that page. Yeah, right here. So You can kind of see it side by side how it looks. This looks just a lot better. All the colors look better. And like I said, there's actually some scripting going on in here. So, and they have an interesting way of going into the backup story. It doesn't reverse, obviously, because this is like a collected edition. But they've actually got the Youngblood team going that, you know, Sentinel's team's mission has been leaked and it's in the media. So, and they're actually like watching it unfold on video as we're reading the comic. The home team is watching the away team here. And as we get through the battle, again, much better colors in here. This page looks so much better colors. Let's see if I can find that again. Put it side by side. Yeah. It just looks a lot better, I feel like. From page to page, the colors are a lot nicer, even in the backgrounds. So, again, we get combat. They don't fix any of the original pencil work in here. They're just updating the colors and the script, as you can see, because we've still got some of the same weird mistakes. Although maybe that's just, maybe combat has like an ever morphing armor that we're not aware of, perhaps. I have no idea. So, and then again, we get another page added in here. So for some more backstory about what was going on in Baghdad. And then we get the story with the four showing up in our home Youngblood team, jumping into battle here. And then we get the reveal of our main team. And we go back to Baghdad here to finish that story. Some really great colors on this. I think the way the pages, because page one starts here on the original, but in this one, page one starts on this side. So I think it actually works better the way that they have it going from page to page when you're turning here. And we get our final issue. This page looks so much better. This like drawing of Sentinel here. They actually like color it in. Looks a lot better in this collected version. So I'll have to maybe go through this whole thing sometime, maybe. It might not be worth it, but if you ever find this Youngblood, it collects issues 1 through 5. And like I've said, the pages are put in different orders, and it's kind of all updated and redone. And so the story has a much better flow to it than in the original Youngblood comics, which just seem kind of random from issue to issue. So giant arm. So yeah, that's Youngblood number 1. We just found out Rob Liefeld is coming back on Youngblood. He just announced he got the control of the rights back. So for the first time in years, we're gonna get some new Youngblood stories from Rob Liefeld as he kind of winds down his career, as he's also announced. So really interested to see that. He's left Marvel to just focus on his extreme characters. I think he wants to kind of make that his legacy going forward. So anyway, thanks again for watching. If you like videos like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.